Hi, this is Kate from Izzalicious Designs. So today we're going to make this little cuff bracelet. As you can see, there's no C-clips holding it together or anything like that. It's all in one, and it's the thin blue line, which is in dedication and support of our police officers, our law enforcement officers, and I think it's become a symbol worldwide, recognised, to show support. And so we're going to do this one today. It is a hook only design, but I am going to link another tutorial which is done by Mr. Larry Roberts. You're, I'm sure, all familiar with him. He's the chap that does these enormous creations on, you know, a billion looms at a time, and creates these absolute masterpieces. Well, he did a loom version of a thin blue line bracelet as well, so I am going to link to that, so that if you prefer to use a loom version, or if you want to do the hook only, that's completely up to you. But this is a cause. This is something that I feel very dear to my heart. My cousin in Australia is a police officer. My daughter, one of her best friends, Peyton's father, is a police officer. So Patrick, this is for you. And also a lady in our subdivision, her daughter is Ashley, and her name is Melissa. She's a police officer. I have to say, I wouldn't do that job for all the money in the world. It scares me silly, and I am so grateful to those that do, and that protect us. So this one is for all of the law enforcement officers, the Leos as they're called, past, present, those that are still with us, those that have unfortunately passed on. And let's get started. As I said, hook only. We're going to start now. I should mention, you need to measure your wrist. Okay, now I'm quite a chunky person, so I have a bigger wrist, and I did about 30 to go around. But what you want to do, get a piece of string or a piece of paper. Even if you have the new Alpha Loom, cut out the template from that and work out how big your wrist is. But we're going to start with a chain. So take a single black band and wrap it once and twice, and then we're going to start by chaining just a normal chain like this. One band on the end of your hook. I've just put hand cream on, that was sensible, and chain it through. Okay, just like that, just like you would do a normal chain for when you're making normal bracelets. Okay, and so basically you're going to do this chain until it fits around your wrist, or the wrist of the person that you're making. I got my husband to try this one on, and as I said, this was 30 chains, and it fit him quite well. Just keep doing this until you feel, obviously for a child it's going to be a lot less than 30. 30 would be good for a man or somebody with a larger wrist. So chain up. You'll wrap it around you to see, and make sure when you do wrap it around you that you pull it so that it's tight enough. Okay, now that probably would be fine for a child. Let's see how many we have here, shall we? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17, 18, 19, 20, 21, 22, 23, 24. Let's do 25. Okay, we'll do 25, and then what we're going to do, pull it so that you can see that it's all straight in line, it's not twisted at all. Get to your little end cap here, okay, and pinch that. You're going to take one side of your last band on your hook off. You're going to push your hook through your end cap, and then you're going to put that last band back on, so that your end cap is in between that last band. Do you see? Let me zoom in a little bit so you can see a bit better. And let's focus so you can really see well. So see here, here's our last band right there, and there's our end cap in the middle. Alright, so we're going to take a single black band, pull it through all of them, and have it back on your hook like this. Now what we're going to do, here's our first, this stitch here, this stitch right here is our first stitch. We're going to go into that first stitch, and it can be a bit tricky because you've got that great big knobbly bit of the end cap there. Take a single band, pull it through. Now you haven't done anything with that band that's holding these together. One over the other, and then you're going to take that loop and pull it through those two little loops. And now what we're going to do is go all the way around doing what we call a single crochet. So you push your hook in through the loop, pull back a single band, reclaim, one over the other, and then take this loop that's on your hook through it. Let's do that again. Push your hook through, pull the band through, one over the other, and then one over the other again. So you've done these little slip knots. Okay, let's try that again. Pull through, you have your band here, one over the other, so you've got a slip knot here and a slip knot here. Take this one over that one, like that. One over the other, and this one over that. Okay, so let's go around now. This is where we started, so this band here, if you can see, this is our single chain, and this is where we started with our next round. So really should put a stitch marker here so that we know where to stop. If you don't have a stitch marker, use a C-clip, that works perfectly well. But that's the stitch. Do you see that's our last chain, our last single chain, and this stitch here is where we started doing our single crochet. So let's move all the way around doing single crochet, now we are going to be working in continuous rounds for this, so we're not really stopping and starting, we just keep going, which is rather nice. I'm also going to link, you'll see a little eye on the top right hand corner of this video, and that will link to any videos or links and stuff that I think might be pertinent to you. I'm going to link it for this particular video to my Loomigurumi tips and tricks, and in that tips and tricks playlist you will see all the different stitches that I've worked out how to do with loom bands. They're crochet stitches that we've converted into loom bands. So I'm going to put that there as well, because they go through them nice and slowly and they explain them very clearly how to do these stitches. And the stitch that we're doing at the minute is called a single crochet. So make sure you're going all the way around. And you want to make sure that it's not twisted. Okay, and you're just doing one stitch in each of these little chains. Remember how we chained it? So each of those is called a chain. We're doing one stitch in each chain. So I've just done one here. This is my last one. If you look here, this is my last one. Poke my stitch, my hook through. Okay, so I'm back to the beginning. I'm going to take my stitch marker out because we're back to the beginning. Straighten this out. Now have a look here. This is where we had that joining bit, and it can look a bit messy because we've just joined two things together, which does look a bit messy. But what you're going to do, skip these, you're going to go into this first stitch here. Alright, this one here is slightly at an angle, so push your hook through like so. You're going to grab another black band, and pull it through and do a single crochet and move your stitch marker to that one, like so. And now we're going to go round again in each stitch. So a stitch is the two little sides. You've got one side here and the back side. Can you see that? Let me pull it apart. So there's two little loops. It forms like a little teardrop. Push your hook through both of them, and you do again your little slip knots, one over the other, and then join, and then to the next one, one over the other and join. Alright, so we're going to go around, and these are single crochets that you're doing. And we'll do another round, and a round means all the way around until we get back to our little stitch marker. And you will find you get a little bit faster the more you practice these little single crochets. It takes a little while, but once you get hooked on it, you're kind of hooked. Bit of a pun, isn't it, seeing as we're working with hooks. Make sure you don't skip a stitch. You want to make sure that you go through each and every one, but only pulling one band through each and every one. If you go back into the same loop, you're doing what's called an increase, and you'll make your bracelet bigger. And we really don't want that. Now, the beauty of this kind of bracelet is you can make them any length you want. That first initial chain that you did, if you did it long enough, you could make this into a hairband. Which I think would look very nice for little girls to be able to show support for their dads and uncles and brothers, for wives. Izzy's into hairbands at the minute. We're doing that awful stage of growing her fringe out, or her bangs as you call it over here. Oh my goodness, what a palaver that is. Alright, we're moving to blue. So to change the colour, what we're going to do, to try and make it look seamless, take a blue band, pull it through, and add the black loop that's on your hook onto that blue band, and then reclaim. Don't do anything with it. You're going to take your stitch marker off and put it on the blue band. Okay, leave the two loops like this. Go to your next stitch with a blue band, pull it through, reclaim, one over the other for that stitch, and then you're pulling this little loop through these two, and then you just continue round doing single crochet in blue. You can make these any colour you like. You can do rainbow ones, you can do all sorts of different colours to make this cuff. I just thought it was a very nice way to be able to do the thin blue line, but really it's only your imagination that stops you creating anything out of this particular design. all the way around. You could do school colours, sports team colours. Flag colours. Okay, now we're nearly back to the beginning now because we did this colour change. There's my last stitch here in black. I'm going to put my blue band through. Now, my last stitch, I need to bring this one up to meet this because this was on the line lower. We've gone around and this is on the line higher. So go through these two. If you have a look, there's two this side, two loops this side, and two loops this side. You're going through the two loops furthest away from you, and with your single band bring it up and do your normal single crochet just like that, and that kind of pulls this up so that the two sides look like they're meeting. You're going to take your single band, your stitch marker, and pop that on here. Now we've just gone through this one which marries up to this one, so this is our next stitch, and we're doing black, so we have to do the seamless colour change again. So take a black band, pull it through, add the blue band to it and reclaim. Move your stitch marker to that front black band. Don't do anything with these two loops. You're going through the next stitch, black band, pull it through, do your slip knot, and that little slip knot, that loop goes through these two, and then again we just go round doing single crochet. Now you're going to do 3 more rounds of single crochet. This is 1, okay, and it's all going to be in black. 2 stitch, not 2 round. Oopsie, let's try not to lose stitches. As you can see, I've got quite fast at doing single crochets, and I just do it with a twist of my hook. See how I pull it through and twist through both of them. But if you're still at the stage where you're pulling it through and using your fingers to pull over, that's absolutely fine. You get the same result. The thing that you want to try and do is not stretch the bands. I've seen some tutorials where people are showing how to do Loomigurumi, and they're stretching the bands so that they go out of shape, and they're doing these slip knots really, really tightly, and I have to say it's been giving me nightmares because that's not how to do it. You really want to try and keep these as even and as unstretched as possible, which is why I use a smaller hook. I use a 2.75 hook so that I'm not trying to fit my chunky finger and a chunky hook into the band at the same time and stretch them. Oops, let's make sure we do that properly. Come back here. There we go. Now we're nearly back to the beginning. Now do you remember what happens when we have this? This is our first round after the colour change, so we've got to be a little bit careful. Here's our last blue, so go through that. Now we're back at where we did our first black. Again, do you see there's this 2 little loops here, and then there's 2 little loops at the front, which is where our stitch marker is. You're pushing your hook through the 2 little stitches at the front, single crochet just like normal, okay, and then you're skipping that one here at the front because you already went to its buddy at the back here, so this is our next stitch here. Alright, and again single crochet and move your stitch marker. And then we go all the way around. This is our second row or round of black bands. We'll have one more to do after this, but we don't have to do any funky colour changing. I know there's a bit of a fiddle factor with the colour changing, but if you don't do it that way, what you'll find is that your bands will bleed, the colour of your bands will bleed into the stitch in front and behind. And I think this just looks a little bit nicer. But if you just want to continue doing it, you know, just keep going around, that's fine. You'll just have a different looking bracelet at that join. I'll have to do one to show you, won't I? All the way around. Now you shouldn't have added or decreased any stitches, so you should have the same amount of stitches that you started with. Nearly back to the beginning. I'm going to push through this first stitch, move my stitch marker so I know where to finish at. I've got one more round to go. That's 2. Whoopsie, come back here. 3. I'm counting my stitches. 4. 5. 6. 7. 8. 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17, 18, 19, 20, 21, 2, 23, 24. I've actually got one more, and I know why, because of how we join things at the bottom. 5, 26. When we started, how we joined this, and we had that extra little loop, so even though we chained up 25, we had 26. Now to finish, we're going to go through that first stitch, take a single band, pull that single band through all of them, so it's like that, it's got all the loops on it. You can get rid of your stitch marker, and you're going to twist that into a little slip knot, nice and tight. Okay, now you can stretch this out a bit, flip it inside out. You can tell which is inside out because it looks messier than this little knotted bit. Now turn it inside out, and what we're going to do, look where your tie-off band is and just go through some of these loops on the inside here. These little loops that you can see. Go through a couple of them like that. I've got about 6 on my hook right now. Grab the tie-off band and gently pull it back through those little loops that you've got on the inside like that, so that it's hidden like this. Now, yes, you're going to see where we have the first join and a little lump where we have the tie-off, but at the end of the day that I think is still more secure and looks a little nicer than using C-clips or an S-clip or anything like that. But there we have our thin blue line bracelet. So I hope you enjoy making yours. Take care. Bye.